Hey, what's going on, East Bay Hacker fam? Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful day. I'm having a good day. And today I wanted to show you how to perform an offline brute force password attack using the tool commonly known as John. Before I get into how John works, I really wanted to explain how Linux stores information like username and passwords. So let's jump right into it. So you can see here I have this nice little graphic here that I made. And let's just say theoretically we have a username of test and then a password of test1234. Okay? So Linux is going to simply store the username in a file called passwd. This file is going to be located in the etc directory, so the literal file path is going to be etc passwd. Okay? Now the password is a little bit different. So what Linux is going to do is it's going to take your literal plain text password and it's going to pass it through a one-way hash algorithm, okay? And the format of this hash is going to be of crypt format. Now, crypt is not the same thing as encryption. I know they both kind of have the same like letters in the words, but it's not the same. Encryption is reversible. You can obviously decrypt encryption, but a hash is irreversible. You cannot reverse engineer a hash. So the only way to know the original text before the hash is to actually have the original text before the hash, or guess the original text before the hash, if that makes sense. So anyways, let me go back to the graphic that we have here. So we have test1234. You're going to pass it through this one-way hash, and then output, what you have is this kind of weird-looking string, which is in fact a crypt hash. And it's going to be storing this crypt hash inside of the etc shadow file, okay? And it will associate this password with the username, but how John works is you actually need to combine both the passwd and the shadow files together. And you can see that down here where I have written John. It says combine the passwd and shadow files together. Okay? Then how John works is you import a word list. And typically it's going to be a word list that has a bunch of different common passwords that are used. You can find them online. You can compile your own yourself. Typically you're going to use something online though. And what it's going to do is this word list, like I said, it's going to have a list of just common passwords that users use. And what it's going to do is it's going to pass each password individually through that one-way hash algorithm, the crypt one, the same one that Linux uses, and it's going to get this hash. And it's going to take this hash and see, it's going to say, can I compare this to this? And if it's the same, then this password is the same password, okay? And it's going to go through and it's going to check this hash against every user password in your system, and then if nothing matches, it's going to move on to the next one. It's going to check the hash. If nothing matches, then it's going to move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. So that's how John works. Let me go ahead and get into Linux and show you how it works with the command line. So the first thing I want to do is I want to open up my terminal. Let's expand it out a little bit. And I actually want to show you where these passwd and the shadow files are located. So if I type in, let's just cd to the etc directory. Now if I list out everything here, so just ls, you're going to see all these different files. But you can see here we've got passwd and we've got shadow. Okay, so let's actually sudo cat passwd. I'll type in my password really fast. And you can see here, like I said, passwd is going to have usernames in here. You can see here, these are all usernames. Right now I'm logged into fish. That's my username. And then if I sudo cat shadow, not at, you can see here that we have the crypt hashes of the passwords, okay? Pretty cool. So let me actually go back, and I'm going to cd out of here, and then I'm going to cd into a directory we call John. Do I not have John in here? Let's see here. Oh yeah, I'm done. cd John. Alright, so now we're inside of John. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to use a function of John called unshadow, and what you're going to do is this is where we're going to combine the passwd and the shadow files together. So first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to let the program know where is the passwd and the shadow file. So I'm going to give it the literal paths of both files. You can see here etc passwd, etc shadow, and then I'm going to output that information into a new file, and we're going to call this unshadowed.txt. Now it's going to give me permission denied because in order to view shadow and passwd, you need to run it with super user privileges. So I'm going to just go ahead and type sudo double exclamation point, and that will actually retype the whole command with sudo in front of it, the previous command. So I'm just going to press enter here. And now if I list out, we're going to see here that we have unshadowed, and we also have a word list that I already created. Let's just look at what's inside this word list. So we've got all these cool little passwords that I put in here. May or may not work. Let me go ahead and actually vim the word list here, because I want to remove that 4. And now we're going to run John. So we're going to type in John. I'm going to type in word list is equal to the word list that we have here. And then the format is going to be crypt, right? And then we're running it against the unshadowed file that we made previously. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And now you see that it spit out right here in this orange the usernames that it was able to crack, and then the passwords that matched those usernames, okay? So I can show you right here that it obviously works. Now, if you want to see me change something really fast, we can vim into word list again. And I'm going to add a 4 after this, because one of our passwords is actually test1234 with a capital 4. So I'm going to run this again, and you're going to see now East Bay. Test1234 is the password, but notice this time it didn't spit out these ones, okay? So if you're wondering, how do I show all the results together? What you can do is you can type in John --show --format is equal to crypt and then unshadow.txt. And this will spit out all of the account usernames and passwords. Right here you can see the usernames here and the passwords right here, username and password. And voila, you have now cracked 3 user accounts using John. So I really hope that you're able to take something out of this, maybe learn something about how Linux stores passwords, where it stores passwords, where it stores usernames, maybe just how to use John. But I'm happy I could show you how to use John. It's really a cool tool to use. And if you have any questions, always free to reach out to me, and I'll get back to you if I can. Later.